Okay, this is my mizzen mast. I did 3 videos on my main mast to show how to fix rainwater leaks that I had. And so this is exactly the same as the main mast, but this is the mizzen mast. And it only has 4 bolts in it. And the 2 back here are missing. And there's nothing in the center, which is kind of strange. Oh no, that's right. There's a stainless steel rod right here, where this this cam cleat here and pulley block is attached to. So this holds the deck down when you tighten the standing rigging on the mast. So at any rate, so it's just like the same thing that the main mast had on my other videos. So I think this time, this one doesn't leak as bad. So I think this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull the boot up, and there's plastic under here, so it feels the same as the main mast. I don't feel any wedges. There might be some pounded down deep. Yeah, I think there is. Yeah, there is wedges in here. I feel there should be. Let's see if I can take this off. I think I'm just going to go ahead and remove this block and get it out of the way. Okay, now I can get this out of the way. Okay, now I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this boot up. And it feels pretty tight, just like the other one was. Just gotta work my way around here. And work it up on the corners here a little bit at a time. Okay, so it's the same thing. I don't believe what I'm seeing here. I gave, we had these tongue depressors when I worked on the research farm. And I had a bunch of, we used them to mark different varieties of crops that we were growing, because it was research, horticulture, research and development. And so we would plant out like 10, 15, or 20 feet of one variety on a row. Like this was a bed of plants. And so every, like say 10 feet, we'd have a different variety, and we'd need a way to indicate what variety they were. So we used these wooden tongue depressors, and we wrote on them with the grease pen. And actually it was like a grease pencil. And we'd write a coded number on each one of those tongue depressors and stick it by each variety. So we knew the date, the variety, and different information in this code. So it was just a numeric code. And I had a bunch of them, and so I gave some to the previous owner before I bought this boat. And I just found one that he used here, and he used it to hold this wedge here. This wedge, I guess, is a little skinny for the gap, and it's not in there tight, so he used one of those tongue depressors. And I'll pull it out here, and we'll take a look at it here in a second. So I got to pull this plastic off, and so over here on this side, he's got duct tape, just like he did on the other side. So this is very similar. And actually, before I pull this off, I'm going to see where this is leaking, because I may not pull this off. It may be leaking up above here. I hate to have to redo all this, but I'm not sure if it's leaking through. One sign is that water's getting into this flange is this rust spot. Stainless steel actually will rust if you cut the oxygen off to it. And so he's got, this feels like a gasket on this one. The other one he had the sealant, but this is a gasket. I don't know. This corner might be leaking. And I may be able to just tighten it down a little bit. Let's see if I can feel like it goes under. So, let me feel around this tape here, see how that looks. I'm trying to remember where it leaked inside. I don't want to get it wet. I just did get it wet a little bit with a hose, just to kind of clean this area up here. It's a little dirty. Yeah, I got to decide what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this apart. I may just do that, just redo it like I did the other one. The problem with this one is I don't have a lot of room here between this, and there's no way I'm going to get that oscillating tool in here to cut the teak out like I did the front mast. So that kind of is a problem. And though there is an alternative that I can do, I can use my chisel, and what I would do is I would use the oscillating tool to cut around this, take the teak out from under here, and I won't be able to cut back here with the oscillating tool, but I should be able to get in here with a chisel and chisel this out. I just have to make a real nice straight line with the teak that's going to be left here next to the cabin. I think back here it's not sealed too well, and one of the problems that I see is I have wood screws. I guess I can just remove them. I think I can do this. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and remove the plastic, I think. See if I can see any water stains inside under this plastic. That might give me a clue if this is leaking. I don't think this is leaking up here, except maybe where the tape is here. I hate to take this all off again, but yep, it's gonna have to do it. Do the same thing like I did the other one. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull it down. At least one good thing is I've done this before, so I got experience. Should go a little easier, quicker and easier this time, hopefully. Okay, so now I got this off. So here's the plastic, just like the other one. And I'm just going to put this back in here. Okay, so here's the here's the piece of the tongue depressor. And it has numbers on it, and it's coated. But this was from the research farm. What happened was somebody had put the wrong numbers on these, and so I went ahead and we didn't want to take a chance that, well, we could write on the other side, but if somehow the writing gets removed on one side, then we're not sure about what the actual numbers are. So so that was a problem. So instead of throwing them away, I just took them and thought, yeah, they'll work as stirring sticks for paint and epoxy and stuff. Okay, these wedges are, ooh, this one's an easy. So this one ain't too hard to pull out, but ooh, this one's loose. That's good. I'll just pull it right out with my hand. Okay, this is aft. Oh, there's another. So here's another, this is another tongue depressor with a code. So I'm not sure if this is like for bell peppers or cilantro or whatever we were growing, but basil. I don't remember what the codes were, but that's a coded number that describes what variety and what actual kind of vegetable it is. So, all right. Let's see how this one does. This one's tight. I think I can get in here with my screwdriver and pry it out though. And this one is tight. This one's loose. So I gotta go get my tools. So I got my huge screwdriver here and my old rusty, trusty rock pick from back in my gold mining days. Kind of was just a hobby of mine. When I was I used to be into whitewater rafting a lot, not so much anymore, but I'd always try to make my whitewater trips also prospecting for gold trips, because the areas where I raft were the California gold rush took place. So there's gold in the rivers there. So Tim's my rock pick's rocking. Look at that. Now that made it easy. I don't have to go inside and pound it up. I think I might be able to get them all out like this. So this one was pretty loose. I should be able to get it easily. Oh yeah, it's just sitting in there. So that's, let's see if these are marked. Ooh, they're not marked. Okay, so before I pull the rest of these out, I'm going to mark these. Well, unfortunately, my Holstein cow pen, which was given to me by Miss Dairy Queen in the Central Valley of California. She was a queen, and she worked on the research farm, so she gave me this pen. It doesn't write on wood. I'm not sure if it writes on paper either. I haven't tried it yet. But at any rate, I've had it for a while. Okay, got a Sharpie. Okay, Sharpie works. It's not working good, but it's working. This one's aft. Yep, I figured the last one was going to be the tough one. That's what it was on the same thing with the main mast. It's going. At least I don't have to pound it from inside that little cabinet that I had to crawl into several times when I was doing my cabinet project, which it's still not finished yet. I got to finish that, but I need to get this outside stuff done before it rains, and the inside stuff I can do when it's raining. And if this is leaking, I need to get it fixed before it's the rain. So this one corner's in tight. Wow, the mast really moved, and that's why it was tight. Okay, so it was in this way. So side support. This mizzen mast was the mizzen mast step that this mast sits on had rotted, and this is when the previous owner owned this boat. And so he had the mast lifted up with a crane, and then they removed the old mast step and they replaced it with a new one. And so it feels to me, the front one, he had just paint. This, I don't know, it feels like some kind of, it feels like fiberglass. It almost, yeah. I think it's fiberglass. It even goes underneath. And I don't, so if that's the case, it's not leaking. The flange shouldn't be leaking. So that's good news. Yeah, he's got fiberglass going up to the seam here, just a little above it. And so I don't feel or see any signs where water got in. I'm gonna have to go over to the other side and feel along here. But I can feel it. Yeah, it feels like fiberglass. So if that's the case, I don't even want to lift this flange up, because that'll break that seal. So what I can do is, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to replace this plastic and use this shoe goop that I used on the front one, and then if it leaks this winter, I may just try to seal around the outside with some kind of sealant. I don't use silicone. I don't like it, and it leaves a residue. So if you use it and then you go to, and eventually it's going to leak, and so you'll have to clean off the old silicone and rebed it or whatever you're going to do. Well, the problem is the silicone leaves a residue, and you literally have to sand it way down to get that residue out of there. And the residue keeps new silicone from sticking. So basically, once you silicone something and you try to peel the silicone off and then go over it again, it's not going to work out too good. So yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and replace the plastic. So this is going to make it easy, and I should be able to get that done today because I think I got plenty of goop. So I think that's the plan, and I didn't even need to take these wedges out. So I guess I can just go ahead and put them back in. And but these tongue depressors, I guess I'll put them back in, and they're like popsicle sticks. And I need to go this way with this wedge. And I don't know, this mast, yeah, it'll move. I can move it by pushing on it. Okay, as long as I can get it started. I think I'll just go ahead and pound these. The tongue depressors bring back memories from the research farm. That was, I quit. I worked there for 19 years. I quit in 2006 and moved over onto my sailboat in the Bay Area over here, San Francisco Bay Area. In 2006, me and my dog moved aboard. Yeah, I cracked that wedge, but it's all right. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. Okay, so I'm gonna have to kind of push this, break that off, get it out of the way. Okay, so it's gonna be in the way. Just break it off flush. Okay, good enough. Okay, now I got to clean this sheet of plastic. I need to wash it, let it dry a little bit. And like I did the other one, it's dirty. And then just reinstall it with a little goop and pull the boot down. I think that's all I'm going to do. And then after that dries, and it's supposed to rain a little bit this week, we'll see if it leaks. And then maybe next weekend, if the weather's good, I may just go ahead and wash the boat because it really needs washing. And then I'll really find out if they're going to leak or not. Okay, so this has been washed now, and it's pretty dry. I just got to see if I can figure out if I can do a little better job on this than what was up here. Or at least get it back around the same. I notice one thing, get these ropes out of here. The front of this, or actually the back of it, aft is that way, forward is this way. This back piece here fits just like the main mast fit. It's similar. But the back over here, there's a huge gap between the flange and the mast. And so the tricky part is I'm going to have to fold this up and figure out exactly where I want it before I start to seal it up. And here's a clue about this is you think stainless steel doesn't rust, right? That's what most people think. And it's stainless steel, right? It's stainless, it doesn't rust. Well, if you cut the oxygen off to it, you can see on this plastic here that's been on here for several years, all the rust stains. And where did the rust stains come from? Well, they came from the stainless steel because the oxygen was cut off. So whenever you cut oxygen off to stainless, it rusts. So especially stainless 304, and that's what this is. Stainless 316, which is a higher grade of stainless, probably not so much, but the 304, which is pretty common, stainless 316 is a lot more expensive. So usually you see a lot of this 304, and then it gets polished out and it can look like stainless 316, real shiny. Stainless 316 is also called surgical steel. I'm just gonna have to try to make this fit so it don't leak. I had it inside out, so I'm gonna try to get it back the same way, because these little folds are kind of a clue as to what I need to do. Okay, so I'm just gonna start gluing it down and try to make it fit. This one is going to be a little more difficult than the main mast, and it looks to me like I'm going to have to get some of these ropes out of the way, at least this one here. Just to get it out of the way here. Okay, I'm using, this is a little different than the stuff I used on the front mast. This is called Amazing Goop, and it's marine grade, which is the same stuff that I used on the other stuff. It's all pretty much the exact same stuff. It's kind of like old model glue for when you're a kid building models, and so it's similar, and it's waterproof. It's it lasts forever, so it sticks really well. And so that's what I'm going to use to seal around the top here and then around the flange down here. And I have to seal the flange, the bottom, too, because water gets between two surfaces that are close together, and it'll wick up just like a wick on a oil lantern. It just goes right up and into the boat. And the more it wicks, the more water gets in. So it makes it even worse the wetter it gets. So I got to seal around the top and the bottom. I'm not going to use the tape for sealing, so I'm going to put the goop on just like I did the other one, just right at the tape line. So a little bit's on the wooden mast and a little bit's on the tape. And then this Sunbrella boot's coming back down, and so it'll cover it all up. So at any rate, I'm going to start on the other side. I have to start on the other side because that's where the seam is. Okay, so what I need to do next is I need to go ahead and wipe these surfaces down with some solvent. So I got to open this up. Okay, it's taking the rust off of the stainless pretty good, and you can see how dirty that is. Yeah, this is an important step, so especially get the corners, because those are prone to leak, the corners areas. I hate when I get songs stuck in my head, and it's always songs that I don't care to have stuck in my head. It's never the ones that I like. It's usually the ones that are just real, I don't know, I guess kind of rhymey, and I can, you know, go into a supermarket and hear a song, and then it's in my head for days. Looks like I can see the folds where I need to go. And the tape was here kind of in the middle. I'm tempted to do the bottom first. I think that's what I'm going to do. On the main mast I did the top first, and it makes more sense to glue the bottom first because it's going to hold it in place and it's going to hold it straight like that. And then I have to come in and fold it. So he had it folded like this and folded over and then glued in. So yeah, I'm going to do the bottom first. I don't want to go too far down because I don't want it gushing out onto my stainless flange on the bottom here. I just want to keep the water from wicking back up. This tube's pretty old, but it looks like it's still in really good shape. And I don't like getting the stuff on me because it really sticks to you. Sticks to everything really good. So, anyway, I'm just going to go about in the middle. Make sure I get the corners good. Actually, I think I'm going to do this back edge first because that's going to be the hardest to get to. Matter of fact, this is not going to be easy. Okay, that was easier than I thought. Looks good enough. And I just got to make sure the goop gets squished down really tight because this blue umbrella here is really tight, and I can't have anything really sticking out any farther than it was originally. So just want to make sure it's glued down good. Yeah, I think starting at the bottom is definitely the better way to go. Put a little extra on the corners. Okay, I gotta work fast. This stuff's drying quick. Got a little bit on the bottom. It's all right. Okay, so I'm just pulling these pieces together around the bottom to tighten it back tight again. Make sure it's getting tight. And make sure it's not too low. Pull it up. That looks good. Okay, now I can just work the folds here that are already there. Okay, now I just got to glue the folds down. Well, it's not a pretty sight, but hopefully it'll work. And then when I put the umbrella back down, it should look fine. So I'm using Stick Tech, and this is like my favorite masking tape. It's pretty waterproof. It'll it'll stick even when it gets wet, and the longer it stays stuck to something, the harder it is to remove. So I'm going to go around with the smaller tape first, and then I'll go around with bigger, wider tape. Okay, right here, the fold goes in the opposite direction, so I just kind of push it over first and tighten it in a little. Okay, so the first layer of tape, I'm just kind of holding things together a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to go around with the wider 2-inch tape here. Just do the same thing, just go around again. I don't have to worry about the fold so much because we're pushed down with the tape. We're a little higher on this one. Okay. Okay, that's good. Now I can push down without getting the glue all over my hands. I'm just going to squeeze around it one more time and pull the umbrella down and see how it looks, and hopefully that'll be it. Make sure it's flat, especially around this bottom piece here, because that umbrella is really tight. So I can feel it got layers of the goop in there. Okay, that's good. I think I've gone around the top enough times. I think that looks good. Okay, let's pull the boot down, see what it looks like. Just gotta go a little at a time. Top down like that. Really tight. That's good. Okay, let's do the other side a little bit. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. That looks good. So at any rate, if you found this useful or entertaining, please like and subscribe.